Did you negotiate at all to be the Bachelorette, or did you just say, give me the deal? I have $1,500 in my account. I had a $2 net worth before
You would
I'm
think, because I think they offered me $40,000. You'd think I would be like, jackpot.
Yeah, I mean,
sign me up. But no, Penny, bless her again, was like, I'm giving you an entertainment lawyer. It's going to cost you a lot of money, but it's going to be worth it in the end.
I didn't know you had an entertainment lawyer.
Yeah.
You had an entertainment lawyer do your first
One of the
deal?
best in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you pay an entertainment lawyer? 5%?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what an entertainment lawyer costs, 5% of the contract.
But I also think I had to pay him an upfront like retainer of $5,000.
Where'd that come from?
Stepdad.
Rob, we love you. Little shout out.
Yeah. I mean, all of these I was like, well, pay back.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he changed a lot and negotiated my contract big time for me, because I actually did say, and one of the executive producers said to me, you got an entertainment lawyer and you're asking for this amount of money? I'm sorry, I thought this was about love for you. Oh, fuck off. I was like, it's about love and money, okay? They go hand in hand
Love
for
and
me
money.
right now.
There you go.
So I said, I will, because they said you're going against Britt, I was like, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
And then I said, I'll only do it if you paid me as much as you paid Chris Soules.
Gotcha.
So I said I wanted to make the same as
There
he
you
did.
go. Equitable. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have a very blanket tip? One quick one. Any type of negotiating tip for someone out there?
Well, I mean, I had to think about, let's say I did work those 11 weeks that I was going to be the Bachelorette. Think about how much money you would make, tips, what your spendings would be. Like if you map that all out of what you would make, and then you're risking that all to go on a national television show and you know, that's in the entertainment business. You just should walk in knowing how much money you're walking away from and how much money it should end up being in your pocket for risking your, you know, what is it? Likeness?
Yeah, your likeness,
Yeah.
your livelihood,
everything.
your image. Yeah, everything.
And then get a lawyer. I mean, that was the best thing I ever did, was get an entertainment lawyer.
I was going to say, if people are dissecting what you said, there's so many takeaways, right?
Yeah,
Get
I really
professional
know.
help.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends. You had said you knew what Chris Soules made. Obviously, you did market research on what other people were paid. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many takeaways from that. All right.
Are you so impressed with me on that, though? Even
Very.
though Penny told me, I was like, that's when I started being like, oh, because I saw it too, where that one thing that they said, oh, I thought this was about love for you.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now I'm really going to negotiate.
All right. I am proud of you. Do you and Britt, did you think you had the same professional contract or no?
I know we didn't.
Interesting. Okay. So were you ever worried at all? And I talk about this in my book. I almost tried to potentially get that role, reverse negotiate, take the amount of money I was offered, which is $100,000, and say, pay me nothing, because the value of that contract is so much worse. Were you ever worried about her? It would be cheaper for them to go with her and that you would have lost in this like election?
Yeah, of course. I was worried about so many things. Again, you're being pitted against another woman. Is she prettier than me? Is she better than me? Does she have is she cheaper than me? Do they want to keep her? Are they just playing me? My confidence was still good, but like definitely shot at that point from, you know, the whole season of The Bachelor, and then being like, oh, now we're going to pin you against Britt and see who's the better wife.
Yeah. That's brutal.
So yeah, I was definitely worried about that. But I had also negotiated that if it was her, I still got money.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's so smart. 'Cause my next question was going to be, if you didn't get elected, I like to say elected. If you didn't get elected, what was your professional plan? What was next for Kaitlyn? Obviously, that's one of your answers.
Well,
I negotiated a dollar amount to help float me.
Yeah. And then I also knew at that point that Instagram was something that you could make money. And I was like, I will build some sort of brand.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think
what.
it would have taken you longer.
Oh, yeah.
But I would make the argument that if you weren't the Bachelorette, it would take you a lot longer. But I think you still, even just being on the one season of The Bachelor with a smaller following, not being Bachelorette, you still would have built what you have.
That's nice.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I
I think you would have too.
I really do believe I would have done something that like fulfilled my soul and made me money.
Okay, last question on The Bachelorette, the professional work stop for you. Was there any percentage in Kaitlyn Bristowe's confident brain going into the electoral vote of you versus the Bachelorette for your next career move? Did you have, if you had to give me a number, 1 through 100, what percent of the chance did you think you were going to be picked to be the Bachelorette?
80.
Okay. I was expecting you to be like 99 because I know you're confident. That's so you had 20%
I was
up.
confident, and like as each conversation I had with a different guy that night of the rose ceremony, I was like, oh, they've casted some of these guys for Britt and some for me. So like, it really just depends on if I had some flip-floppers out there who was like, I thought it was Kaitlyn, but now that I talked to Britt, which there was, but I flip-flopped some votes too. But I was like, who freaking knows at this point with this show what they're going to do and what their plan is? Because they said to me, like, Kaitlyn, it's you. And I was like, but are you also telling Britt that? And they're like, well, yes, but.
For the record.
Yeah. So yeah, I was probably 80%.
Gotcha. All right. I think there are so many brilliant things you did in negotiating. I never heard ever. I didn't even know about this, getting that $1,500 float for your career and then negotiating that if they go with someone else that you would have a dollar amount that would set you up financially to create some type of safety net for you to do your next thing. It's genius. It's brilliant. How many followers did you have before you went on to be the Bachelorette?
Like 350,000.
Okay. And interesting. And were there other platforms at that point? It was just like Twitter and YouTube, right?
No, Snapchat. I was like the Alex Earl of Snapchat on, like it was crazy. I get millions of views on my Snapchat
I saw TikTok
stories.
as someone she has like 7 million TikTok followers, but she's got a bunch of Snapchat. She made over $1 million in Snapchat in 6 weeks.
We'll get into made no money off Snapchat.
Do you still utilize your Snapchat?
No.
Okay. So 300,000 followers, you go to be the Bachelorette. And I think most of us know the story from there. Completely blow up. Once you're done being the Bachelorette, you have about what, 1.5 million followers, 1.3 or something?
Yeah.
How times have changed. It's crazy. I want to do some rapid fire on the TV stops you've made, right? You're the Bachelorette. You're on Dancing with the Stars. You've been the host and you've been on Dancing with the Stars tour. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You tell me the answer. Ready? Mm-hmm. Which was the most exciting?
Dancing with the Stars.
Which was the most rewarding?
Dancing with the Stars because
Dancing with the Stars tour or Dancing with the Stars?
Dancing with the Stars because I had always wanted to be a dancer, and to win that mirror ball made me feel like I achieved a dream.
Which wouldn't you do again?
Well, I mean, obviously The Bachelorette or Bachelor.
Let me.
If I was single?
Let's go. No, Dancing with the Stars hosting or Dancing with the Stars tour. Which wouldn't you not do again?
Oh shit, I don't know. Both of those made me so happy.
Dancing with the Stars tour, Dancing with the Stars, or hosting. 3. Which wouldn't you do again?
Dancing with the Stars.
Interesting. So you would do hosting
because I couldn't stand losing.
Okay, that's fair. Like a Dance with the Stars, if it was
like an all-star season and I lost, I'd be like, am I a dancer? And then I'd go back into questioning myself.
I don't know if you can answer this, but if you can, I don't want to get you in any trouble. The Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars, hosting or Dancing with the Stars tour, which was the most lucrative?
Hosting.
Okay. If you have to guess how much the mirror ball was worth, I'm in full TV question rapid fire mode. How much would you guess the mirror ball's worth?
I know how much it cost them to make it.
How would you know that?
Because my year that I won was the first year they revamped it and made it better, and they told me.
And how much did it cost to make it?
$10,000.
I wonder how much you could sell it for.
I wouldn't. You could pay me $1 million, I wouldn't sell it.
Yeah, okay. Something you might sell. Your last ring that the show gave you. How much is that valued?
Well, do you know that Neil Lane has first rights of buying it back?
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to sell it, you would have to go to him.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But how much do I think it would sell for?
What if he gives you an offer you want to pass on? Suppose he offers you 30
Yeah, that's
grand.
a good question. I don't know.
Interesting.
I should do that.
Okay. So you'd have to go to Neil. How much would you want to sell it for?
How much would I want to sell it for?
How much do you think it would go for?
I don't know, 30 grand.
30 grand.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. All right. From a professional standpoint, would you be willing to, when you think about your career, where it is today, would you be willing to do reality TV again?
Yes.
You would?
I wouldn't have said that.
I'm very surprised.
I wouldn't have said that.
Shocked by that.
I wouldn't have said that 3 years ago.
What?
I would do reality TV again if
Yep.
It didn't dumb down my brand and make me look stupid.
How can you prepare for that professionally?
Because if I had creative control and was an executive producer, then I would make sure of that.
Got it. Okay. So you want to be a producer then?
Yeah. If I was to do reality television
You would
again,
want some
I would
producing
want
control.
to be, yes.
Okay. What would the price tag be for a company that wanted to do reality TV with you that wouldn't be your own show? So suppose like a big show comes on, it's a new show, whatever it is, reality TV. What does it cost to get Kaitlyn Bristowe on the show?
What's the concept?
Does that impact how much you would charge?
Yes.
Really?
Well, no, it impacts if I would say yes or no.
Okay. So it's a concept that you would say yes to. What's
Okay.
the minimum Kaitlyn Bristowe would
How
want
long
to charge?
are we filming?
2 months.
I don't know. I don't want to say. Because then again, I'm doing that thing that I did for like saying, well, you'd have to say like, how much money would I be missing out on with brand deals, with podcasting, with all these things that I would miss if I was doing a reality show and I'd have to add all that up and say
this
it was
is always
worth
a
it.
fair one because I always when people don't want to say, I always respect it. Would it be over 6 figures or no?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be over 7 figures?
No.
Okay. So there we go. We have
If
someone
it
to
was,
figure it
I
out.
would be great, but
Yeah, you
I
take
wouldn't
it.
be like,
Okay. All right. A question that we had from a lot of viewers, and I actually just don't know the answer to this. Do you get a bonus when you win Dancing with the Stars, or does the person you're in the last place with get the same?
yeah, the person you're in last place with gets the same. You get a bonus every week that you make it past.
Got it. So I wanted, and that was a little misunderstanding of my how I spoke. First and second place, not last. First and second place get paid the same.
Right.
You don't get a bonus if you win.
The final 4 are in the final episode. They all get paid the same.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
But your signing bonus, I think you can negotiate a bit. Like to sign to say you're going on the show.
Okay. So there could be that. Okay. So it's paid weekly. That was a professional stop. In a million years, be honest, did you think after 4 or 5 years removed to being the Bachelorette, you would have got a shot at being Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, did you see my face? You were there
That was
when
crazy.
they said we're asking you to be on Dance with the Stars. I was like, holy shit. No, I never thought in a million years. I even thought 2 years out of the show was too far past to go on that show. So 5 was nutty bananas.
Okay, so here's what I got to ask you. Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. How can people out there that never would think they're going to get to where they want to get, but want to get there?
Well, that's the problem. If they think they're never going to get there, they're not.
But you just said you didn't think you were going to get there.
Oh, okay, fuck. Well, you know what? I actually lied a little bit there. There is still a small part of me, if I'm being completely honest,
Sing it, girl.
that I thought I deserved to be there. I take it back. I shouldn't have said no, never in a million years, because I really did. I had a picture of a mirror ball in my mirror. Yeah, I thought I could.
Okay.
And I think that's part of the reason I never really lost that dream of like still being on Dancing with the Stars. I was like, well, how am I going to get there again? That was always just in the back of my mind of that's a show I would have always wanted to do. Let me think about this. I would say, can you ask me that question again? Can you also edit this to make it sound smoother?
We'll edit this. I actually have one quick question. We'll take a quick break here. 2:30 is the cutoff, right? I know this is going longer than I expected. I think so. 2 hours. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. You want me to ask you the question again?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you could put all that in there to say like, wait, I take it back, or you can just cut out the first question.
I'm just going to go back to imitation. Okay. So imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. And there are a lot of people out there that desire to achieve big things, that want those big titles, that want to get to a place that you wanted to get with Dancing with the Stars. And you just said it, you thought you never could. What advice, though, would you give for those people who also think they can?
Just like manifest it. Just think about it. It'll come to you. No, I'm just kidding. I actually take back what I said about thinking never in a million years that I would get on Dancing with the Stars, because I think I always had in the back of my head that was going to be a chance at some point for me. Because I always kept in touch with the casting directors. I always supported the show. I always talked about my love for dancing. And I just kind of always made sure I had a little tiny baby toe in the door with people there. So I think I was doing it without realizing I was doing it. But I would say just show certain things that you're passionate about, commit to your passions, because you just never know also who you're going to meet or who. I don't know how to answer this question. What?
Yeah. No, I think it's fair. I think my takeaway from this that I think people should say is like, continue to network the places you want to be. Continue to tell the people of power what you want.
But authenticity is so important to me too, that you can't be thirsty.
Yeah. But so I get that, but I also want to just put it out there. Everyone kind of, I don't know, a lot of people looked at you with their head like kind of turned, like kind of get over it. Like stop talking to your audience. Stop having your audience tweet Mike Fleiss. Stop having people say, so people were just like, what is she doing? But you kept believing in it. And if you don't think those tweets to Rob Mills and Mike Fleiss and all those people had an impact on you possibly getting this, absolutely they did.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into this right away, but the power of community has gotten me a lot of things that I dreamt for. So I think it's hard for me to say. I would want to know specific goals for people to tell them how to achieve them. But if you're using it in a general statement as like, how does someone get to what they want when they don't believe they could get it, is a hard question to answer, because
I think the answer I'm taking away and I'm going to like use and I believe in is people. Yeah. I think performance actually is especially no matter what your job is, performance is important, but it's a small piece of the puzzle. I think you really need the help of people. You need people to believe in what you should be doing, and you need to tell people. And I saw some TikTok yesterday that said, don't tell anyone what your dreams are and what you want.
I've seen that
too.
And
and everyone's like, yeah, you're right, because people will steal it. I literally respond, I'm like, is this a joke? How do you expect to get there?
Oh, I agree.
Because if you could do it yourself, you already been on the show. You can't get there without anybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I'll never forget that day when you were asked to be on the show. I mean, that was crazy. Did you at all, at any point when we sat down there and Chris had mentioned something, did you ever see that being your next career stop for 3 months?
No, I thought he was going to ask me to take his job, which I eventually did, but not on purpose or maliciously.
Okay. I think that's a good point though, and a good question to ask. And I want to bring it back to professional and career stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this world that are offered opportunities that mom, dad, partners, maybe colleagues who wanted it, there creates envy or shame or anything like that. You took that job.
The hosting job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel any bit of shame or blame for taking that professional step?
Well, I do a little bit. I was kind of tricked into the role because we were told we were being mentors, not the host. And in my brain, I was like, well, yeah, you can't replace Chris Harrison. You just can't. He's irreplaceable. So I will go in with a different role. I'll mentor. I'll be able to speak from my own experience and have empathy towards the lead and be able to share things and talk about things that Chris wouldn't be able to. But obviously I'm not replacing him. When I got there and realized we were 100% replacing him, and I'm standing there with the teleprompter being like, Bachelor Nation, welcome to this season of and here comes the first limo. I'm like, oh shit, we're definitely hosting. And that's when I felt a little bit of shame. And I text Chris just saying I hope you know you're irreplaceable, and I don't want to step on toes, and this is what I thought and this is what it is. So I did feel a little bit of shame because I don't know. Maybe it was imposter syndrome and not shame, but who was I to step into that role?
Okay. So one thing you had said earlier in this interview is you had mentioned that hosting was one of the most lucrative things you've done. So how?
No, compared to
some of the other, but it's very lucrative. So how could you say no to an opportunity
I couldn't.
That's that lucrative and that creates more? And not only how could you do it, what advice would you give for people back at home that might be feeling something of what you felt in whatever world it is that they work in?
Well, shame, the feeling of shame is just, it's the same thing as jealousy. It's a thief of joy. And especially if you are deserving or of course I was going to take that opportunity. Even if they said to me, Kaitlyn, you're replacing Chris Harrison and you're going to be the host, I would have said, I would have approached it differently and had conversations in place before, but I still would have said yes, because what a dream.
Yeah.
But I just think it's important to know your worth. And I felt like I was worthy of that job. It was just more of imposter syndrome of once I got there, I was like, who am I to be in this position right now? Obviously, they needed to bring another girl in like Tayshia because they didn't think I could do this on my own. And I started questioning everything once I got there.
Yeah. I don't know. My take is you get one life, you get one opportunity. And when you're offered something like that, there is no way you can't say yes to an opportunity. I mean, there's just no way you can, in my opinion. And the other thing is, like, I love Chris and I love you and I love, I'm so thankful for the show, but there's no way professionally you can say no to that. I'm sorry. There's no way.
They asked me to be on Paradise before we started dating. To me, that was a step backwards. A step hosting is a step forward. And to me, I always want to be going up and forward.
Well said. One question I had is, they had listed you guys in the credits professionally as guests, not co-hosts.
I know.
Did you ever find out why?
Because they didn't want to pay us what a host would make.
So it has to do with title and pay.
100%.
Interesting. Okay. Professionally, the actual job of hosting, how challenging was that for you? And what recommendation would you have for someone that's stepping into a new role that doesn't feel totally comfortable with what they have to do?
I mean, it was hard because I wanted to do research of what Chris Harrison did, but then I was like, no, because I want to be myself in that role. So I think it's just again, I always want to know specifics. I'm like, well, what job are they doing?
Yeah.
Can you ask me that again?
Yeah. So do you want me to ask you the whole thing again?
Yeah.
Okay. So, wait, what was the question again? I just forgot.
Me too. That's why
It was about hosting. Oh, okay. So professionally, the transition into hosting is you're taking on a role that you've never really taken on.
Mm-hmm.
How challenging was it for you to actually take on a role that you really don't have professional live TV hosting experience?
Yeah.
And then I want you to ask, anybody that's stuck in a new adjustment to a career, they're doing something that's in the job description they're not used to. What advice do you have?
I think there's no shame in asking questions. I asked so many questions when I was doing the hosting role. Even though I didn't want to compare myself to Chris because I couldn't, I still wanted to know how he approached situations. Interrupting people was really hard for me when you have to go in and they're in the middle of an important conversation. You're like, I actually have to steal her away from you. There was so many things where I'm I had to ask a lot of questions without feeling stupid doing it.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right. I'm telling you, I don't want you to answer with numbers here because I don't want you to get in trouble. But when you go from Katie's season to Michelle's season, do you get paid the same or more?
I think we got a little more.
All right. So it's a little bit of a bump up, a little bit of a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other things regarding hosting that people can take away from their career in that transition that we should know about that we otherwise wouldn't know about?
I don't know.
Would you always accept, or in general, as hosting in your future?
I would love, oh my gosh. Being in that position, and then obviously I was worried about Tayshia when she had COVID and couldn't do the finale with me, after the final rose live. I felt like I thrived on live television and reading a prompter and hosting. It felt like I'd been doing it for years, and it's a dream. I would love to host Dancing with the Stars.
Put it out there. Manifest it.
I'm saying it out loud.
I love it. I could talk to you literally all day about this. I could go another 2 hours. I know we have limited time, so I'm going to do a little rapid fire personal finance questions. Okay. Do you have any debt?
No.
Any take on debt?
Oh, debt scares the shit out of me. Any take on? I never was really able to go into debt before too because I didn't have a credit card.
Yeah, and I'll never forget. Kaitlyn and I are doing. If you're okay with I share this, is that we're going over the house, and I was like, you should probably get a mortgage. If you get the mortgage, it's low interest rate. You're like, nope, we're paying it off. Very debt averse. Okay, how do you budget? Do you have a budgeting plan?
I rely on my bookkeeper and accountant.
It's a great answer.
Yes.
You use professionals to help you.
Yes.
And I know the answer to that. You meet with them monthly to go over everything and they tell you how it's looking. Do you have a goal of when you want to be retired by?
Honestly, the thought of retiring used to sound glorious and now it scares me because I'm I don't want to go back to that place where I wasn't working and I lost myself. But I don't know, maybe 50.
Okay. Do you have a dream dollar amount that you want to make off a business or have in your life, or that you want to be able to donate? Do you have any dreams that connect to dollar amounts? I want to sell my wine company for $1 billion. I want to buy a private plane one day. Do you have any dream dollar figures?
I do have this written down somewhere. I wrote how much I wanted to sell my wine company for eventually one day. And I think it was $100 million.
That's the one thing about Kaitlyn I could tell you is she dreams so big.
I do.
And the crazy thing is it comes true. Like the stuff you dream of comes true.
Well, if everybody could continue to please buy Spade and Sparrows.
What is the worst investment you've ever made?
So I've probably made some bad decisions in my life, but the worst I've made recently was investing in a Balenciaga bag 2 weeks before I realized how fucking disgusting they were.
How much was the bag?
Oh man, I don't want to tell you. It's embarrassing.
It's like 25. Well, everyone knows Balenciaga.
Yeah.
10 grand, 5 grand?
No, it was $3 grand.
$3 grand for the bag.
Insane to me that I spent it on that because if anyone knows me, I don't spend money on bags.
It's literally the only bag.
I was like, I'll just do this one.
I'll never forget Lo and I joking around. We're like, this poor girl has like enough resources to get what she wants. And she never gets anything. She finally splurges on a bag. And 2 weeks later, she can never wear it again.
Sad.
All right. If you guys can tell by the tone, we're in rapid fire mode because we have so many questions to ask Kaitlyn, but so little time. But I want to make sure we can suck as much of the career navigation and all your success out and that people can bring it to their lives where they might feel stuck, lost, or trying to figure it out. 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. That is now, I think I forgot 22. I got so pumped up. That's now 9 years of being in this world. 9 years. You're in a world where people say most people get 15 minutes, it's done. You're now on year 9. And I can almost speak knowing myself based on the things we share every single year. When you look at like your income and your success, it's actually increased every single year with last year being your best year yet. Mm-hmm. How?
Well, I'm going to go back to community. I think my community, I could kiss them all on the mouth like I would. If they were all lined up in front of me, I would kiss them all on the mouths because they have helped me and believed in me and they've been so loyal and supportive. And I could not have done any of these things without that. And I think it's important to continue to build that community and show up as authentically as possible so that they want to support you. I feel like it's so easy to see through people these days on social media and see through a lot of bullshit. And I think just showing up so authentically will always be like, even if it's not in dollar amounts, it'll be successful in so many different ways. And also having the right team.
How many people work on your team?
Well, I have different teams.
So how many people in total? Yeah. Check left hand scribble.
10, 11, 12, 14.
14 people.
Yeah.
So a team and a community, that's the answer. 9 years running and your most successful
and
year
then
last
get
year.
engaged to a numbers guy who can help you as well.
Good answer. I'll take it. All right. Can't forget Off the Vine, the OG of OG when it comes to podcasts. Started in 2017. It was May 17th, actually. Over 140 million downloads. It's incredible. One of the top shows out there. How has the podcast scene changed since launching in 2017?
Oh my gosh.
Or what has the biggest change been?
That everybody has a podcast now, and it's hard to get everyone to tune into yours when there's so many options to choose from, and people get bored really easily.
Who do you think are the biggest competitors in your space directly? Who do you think you compete with the most?
I was going to say Call Her Daddy, but that's not true. She gets millions more downloads than I do. I don't know, probably Bachelor podcasts. Would probably be competitive with mine.
Okay. What do you do to differentiate as you plan for your podcast?
I just don't try to differentiate.
That's a great answer.
I don't try to. I just truly try to always listen to what my audience wants. And they've grown with me through so many things, through breakups, through losing dogs, through hard times, through ups and downs. And I feel like they evolve with me and genuinely are like intrigued by what's next for me. So I just try and be, again, super authentic and unapologetic of what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and what stage I'm in life. And I try to not, you know how I am with other podcasts. I will not compare myself to others. I won't listen to them to try and do better or differentiate. Like I'm just like, stay true to myself. It's so important.
And the other thing out there, guys, is she doesn't look at the numbers. Like you don't care about the numbers and try to change your plan based on the numbers. You're just stay true to yourself. You connect with your vinyls. Your vinyls love you. What about tours? Any tours in the future?
Yeah, I just had a meeting last night actually with UTA, my new agency.
Oh, you signed with UTA.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So you're going to do a tour?
Yeah, I think we're going to try and plan one for the fall.
Are tours profitable?
Yeah, what's more important to me, it's definitely not the moneymaker. It's important to me to see the faces of the vinos of what I think is my dysfunctional family and community, and see them face to face and have that intimate time. And, those are the people that are like your true fans that are coming.
Because it's fair to say, like in general, though, like if you look at the dollars and cents, you're not making that much off a tour, right?
No.
In comparison.
It's profitable, but
it's more of a brand
important. Play. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a big, no matter what someone does in their life, as you're looking at your plan, think about where you can,
everything.
Yeah, where you can build your brand that you might not be making money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not enough people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Video. Do you think you'll have like YouTube soon? Will you be Spotify video? What can people expect for Off the Vine?
Yeah, we're trying to, I feel like that's the next step. I always want to know how I can grow that podcast. And I think the next step is doing video. That's the number one question I feel like I get asked right now is, where can we watch this whole thing? Because I have video clips.
So when can we expect that to be in place?
Probably like spring of this year.
Okay. And last thing I got about Off the Vine, financially, has Off the Vine changed your life?
Yes.
Significantly?
Yeah. It has. I feel like it's something that, again, I always wanted to interview people. I always wanted to host. I always wanted to have my own radio show. And I feel like I've been thinking about it for so many years that it's the reason it's so successful, I think, is because of how much I love doing it.
Gotcha. You did the YouTube video show 9 to Wine. Did that have any connection to Off the Vine? Do you expect to pick that up?
No, that was just a fun little side, not hustle, but side show that I wanted to do. A little sideshow Bob that I wanted to do. You don't watch Simpsons. That I wanted to do just to like invite people in a little more because I'm such an open book.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So no more 9 to Wine. We'll see more Off the Vine.
Potentially a TV show though.
Potentially a TV show with what?
My wine.
In Off the Vine TV show?
I don't know.
What's going on? You and UTA got a TV show going?
No. It's just something I'm thinking about. There's some ideas floating around.
Something tells me there's more to that, but I got to bring this conversation because we only have 13 minutes left, and I could ask Kaitlyn a million questions. I got to bring it to your baby, Spade and Sparrows.
Yeah, my baby.
Spade and Sparrows, the baby of babies. If you guys haven't heard of Off the Vine, because literally you live under a rock, make sure you go download it, check it out. There's obviously a lot coming in a tour on the way, maybe even a TV show. But as we transition to the wine, I have a bunch of questions. First question, how did you decide who your partner should be?
Well, we met with so many different people that we could partner with for production and everything. And that was actually one of the most challenging parts because they're like, we've seen, Ben Flanick, who was the Bachelor at one point, he literally owns a winery, so knowledgeable about wine, started his own wine label. And they're like, it failed. Celebrity wines don't really do well unless you're like an actual celebrity. And we kept having to go to different people. And we had the most impressive deck to show everybody about how loyal these followers are, about how passionate the community is, about how much I believe in drinking wine. And like, it's so true to me that I'm like, I would stomp those grapes with my feet, my little feeties if I could. And so I think just proving yourself, but we just picked one that actually believed in us too.
Gotcha. And are you the majority owner?
Yes.
Okay. And
that was something in talking about it, even though they're some of my friends and business partners, they still tried to make it, like, oh, this would be a fair percentage. And I was like, well, no. And so I looked up how much it took to be a majority owner. And I think it was 51%.
Okay.
So I'm 54%.
54%. And then you also have,
I have two business partners.
I think what's cool about your business partners too is their skill sets are totally different.
Yeah.
So if you're starting a business, pick people with diversified skill sets. One of them's attorney. Imagine the cost it would have taken, especially in the alcohol world, to get an attorney on board. And now you're saving it with that as a partner. Tell us a little bit about the growth of Spade and Sparrows since inception to today. Like, how have you guys grown? What does it look like?
Yeah, again, we started obviously as like a smaller company and wanted to go big. So of course there was opportunities for me to just slap my name on a label that's already been branded and like successful, but I really wanted it to be my own. So again, I think such an important thing of growing that business was, I'm a broken record, but the community. Because, for example, I wanted my wine in Target so bad. That made so much sense to me. Like the demographic, the people that are going to Target, it just made so much sense. So I like went to Target buyers. I found their Instagrams. Like I sent them messages and booked meetings with them. And a lot of times they're like, okay, yeah, that all sounds like really great. And then we wouldn't hear back from them. So I had to rely on the community to go. We found creative ways to create buzz around Target. Like everybody go tag your Target and like say what city we should be in. And then you have all these thousands of comments tagging Target, and then they see how powerful that is. And so then they finally took us on in Texas to prove ourselves. And that was where that started. But it was a grind.
How long did it take to get into Target? Because that's huge. That
like
is
3
a
years.
huge,
Like
huge
3
retailer.
years. Yeah. We had to like really try and make them believe in our vision and brand proposition of like what we could do,
because
we believe.
Because I think people hear Target and they're just like, oh yeah, but think about this. Think about the celebrities out there with wine labels, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got like just massive, massive people have wine labels, right? Like Reese Witherspoon has a wine label.
She does?
Does she not? Post Malone has a wine
Snoop
label.
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg has one. I actually sent you, I had an article that was all about these massive celebrities. So to get into Target's huge.
But Snoop Dogg is not going and immersing himself in every Target and getting lineups out the door and having people come to Target, get their feet in the door. Who goes to Target and buys one thing? Nobody. So then I'm doing events. I'm showing face at all these Targets in Texas, bringing people in and making all these customers come to Target who obviously they come for wine. When they come, they leave with $100 receipts.
Yep. Business. I think you're right. You're in that
Snoop
perfect sweet spot where
Post
Snoop's
Malone
not
ain't
showing,
doing
they're
that.
not showing up, but Kaitlyn Bristowe is.
Does Snoop even drink wine?
Fair. Has the success of the company grown each year? Or have you guys ever like, how is the success of the company when you're looking at just like, I don't know, since inception, 2019, 2020, 2021, has it been growing every year?
Yeah, Target for sure has helped with that. Obviously, our partners, Don Sebastiani and Sons, who does our production and distribution and everything, have been the most incredible partners to work with. And again, people going and showing up and buying the wine because it's not just my wine, it's fucking good wine. It's not just like, oh, it's Kaitlyn's wine. They try it and then I want them to be like, holy shit, that's actually really good. And then maybe they're bringing it to a party. And you know what? I'm not looking for, we just had a meeting about this. I'm not looking for the influencers who have 1 million followers to promote my wine. I'm looking for Kara, who's a nurse who needs a glass of wine after a long shift, who's going to share it with her friends. And they're going to be like true ambassadors for the brand who believe in it, that aren't like, we see through a lot of people on Instagram these days. If they're promoting something, you're like, skip, next. And I just believe in this wine being delicious and bringing people together.
Yeah, I think in the little I've seen of the financials where I could help out, I think it's unbelievable. The revenue growth, I'll say this, and it's not my business, but it's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into the numbers.
Well, we
That's
started
your
it
business,
with
but it's
Walmart,
incredible.
which was cool. And that was in a tough time to get them, people in the doors in Walmart because of the pandemic. So we had to do a little guerrilla marketing, and I was going in there Willy Wonka style, leaving Polaroids of myself with $20 bills and saying, go find this bottle. And then, you had to get creative.
Look at you dropping guerrilla marketing. You are a literal genius over here. I think it's brilliant the way that you sell online, the way that you have the wine club, you've distributed through Walmart, through Target. You are in very small, even restaurants and liquor stores all across the country. Tell us, we'll leave with this, Spade and Sparrows. What is one thing behind the scenes? What is one thing about Spade and Sparrows we don't know that we should know, or something you want to just reiterate if you've already talked about it?
I just think how small and mighty our team is. Like we obviously are very passionate about this wine and we're really passionate about supporting the retailers that bring it in and showing, up for, I'm on every call with it doesn't matter if it's a Harris Teeter's in North Carolina, I'm on that call. I want to show my face. I want people to see how passionate I am about this wine that we've made. And it's not just somebody else's wine that I put my name on. I created it from every tasting note to like the design of the bottles to picking my partners. Like everything I've done has been so thought out for trying to make it a success.
It's incredible. Your career has just been absolutely unbelievable. All the TV you've done, more TV possibly to come. The fact that you have your own wine label in Target and in Walmart. We know Do Edit has been a massive success. Off the Vine, that's financially changed your life, over 140 million downloads. And the fact that you have The Wind at Your Back, like it's 9 years in and it's just
I'm scared
started.
it's gonna stop. What if people are like, I'm bored of her?
It's not going to stop. Something tells me it's not going to stop. And something tells me with
Well,
all
I'm
the
on a-
success you've had, you're going to find the right strategies and people to partner with to continue it going.
But I'm also on a healing journey, and I think that's
Is it okay if it stops?
that's what I'm on my healing journey for, just in case.
Because the biggest question though is like, when is enough?
I did
enough?
Kundalini yoga yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was all about breathing into your chakras, talking about like, if I don't have this, I am still this. And it was fill in the blanks. And it was a lot of me being like, it made me realize how much I love what I do too, though. Cause I was like, I don't want it to go away. I love this so much. It makes me so happy.
I also think when you recognize you have enough, when enough is actually another moment in a new chapter when things propel to another level, because people are even more intrigued that you're still achieving what
I'm
you're
definitely
achieving
going to
with
share
enough.
my spiritual journey with everybody because I'm going deep.
Amazing. Well,
Do you want to know what's on my hand now?
Yeah, what's on your hand? Because we do have to get a trading secret from you. But what
Okay.
is on your hand? Can you show the camera?
No, it's actually sweated off now because
Okay.
you made me talk about numbers. But it was because you were. I was prepared for every question. I was like, oh my gosh, and I was thinking of what you were going to ask if from start to finish the process of making my wine. So I was like,
Oh, can I ask that?
Yeah.
All right,
can
start.
we pretend I just didn't read it off my hand? So
Yes, let's add. We'll edit this in. Here we go. Making wine. I'm dying to know. Start to finish. What is the process of making your wine?
Okay. Well, first of all, it was coming up with the name, which is it could be a whole podcast about how I came up with the name, but coming up with the name, finding the right production partner, label design. We met with a friend who is so incredibly talented. The brand vision, assembling the team, licensing
That's a
in
bitch.
2 countries.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was crazy. E-commerce, distribution, sales, marketing. We just kind of went like headfirst with a small team and did it all with honestly not that much knowledge and just like figured it out.
And the fact that 4 of you guys did all that in that short period of time.
It was 3 of us at the time.
And within 3 some years, you're in Targets. It's amazing.
So keep buying, please, because I want to be in Target everywhere.
Keep buying, please. Kaitlyn wants to be there. You just heard the process start to finish.
Ask your doctor how much a glass of wine does for the heart.
That's right. Plus yours is low sugar. All right. We got to transition though into trading secret. That's what we're going to wrap with. One trading secret. Someone can't learn it in a classroom. They can't learn it from a professor. They can't read it in a textbook. It's got to be a trading secret about money management, career navigation, the secret sauce from Kaitlyn Bristowe. What can you leave us with?
I think I'm beating the dead horse. It's dead. It's crossed over to its other life. It's living. And I'm still beating it. It's community and being vulnerable with your community and sharing. I mean, it depends what you're doing. For me, it's like super important to be transparent, not with numbers, but with everything else that I could possibly be transparent with. And I feel like I didn't go onto that show and come out of it being like, I'm going to be relatable. I was just being myself and people found that relatable. And I think that was really important to create that community and have them stick around.
One follow-up to your trading secret. If someone wants to start a community, right? They're at home, they listen to this, they're inspired by you, they're motivated, they're empowered. I want to start a community, even if it's like one person that comes in the
don't
community.
think about
how do you
it's
start?
quality over quantity. It's about just starting.
Connection, right?
Even if you have 5 people that tune in, just keep going. I obviously had a huge boost with going on a TV show that's going to give me that platform, but not everybody can do that. And it's just about doing, if it makes you happy and doing it, the success will come in other ways.
Community, quality over quantity. Those are words from Kaitlyn Bristowe. That's her trading secret. Where can people find everything? Your Instagram, your social media, your wine, your scrunchies, off the vine, give it all.
Please follow me on TikTok. I have so much fun on there. I really like dancing and being funny, and I just like TikTok, but I don't make money off TikTok, so that I genuinely just like being on it. But my Instagram at Kaitlyn Bristowe has everything underneath it. So
you don't make money off TikTok?
I have once.
All right, we're gonna have to change that with the Rewired Talent Agency. Go
No,
follow her
because-
on TikTok. Where can people get your wine?
Okay. Well, you can get it at Kate. Well, it's all under, again, on Instagram. I have that. What's that new thing I'm on? Not
Comey. Yes.
I have that linked on my Instagram, so you can buy my wine on there. And spadeandsparrows.com, scrunchiesdoedit.com, and my podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Off the Vine, go give it 5 stars. Give us 5 stars. Go check out Spade and Sparrows. Go check out Do Edit. Go check out everything Kaitlyn Bristowe on her website or the link that is on her Instagram. Kaitlyn, thank you so much for being on this episode of Trading Secrets. There's only one last thing to wrap with.
What?
You got to show you that camera over there.
What?
What's on your hand?
I'm telling you, it's sweated off.
But what was it?
It was all the things I did to build my wine brand.
I love it. She's going old school. She's writing notes on her hands. It's all
My
Kaitlyn
mom would
Bristowe.
be so mad because I got blood poisoning once and she always thinks ink's going to get into my blood.
And
Okay.
this right here, open it up. That is why we love her.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.